IonQ stock has more than quadrupled in the last 3 months. Of course, that's one of the reasons why so many investors are talking about IonQ stock. Another reason is because of the latest breakthrough from Alphabet in its quantum computing division. But in this video, I'm going to talk more specifically about what's happening inside IonQ that has a lot of investors talking about this innovative quantum computing stock.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So recently, IonQ signed a deal with the University of Maryland for a $9 million partnership to drive quantum innovation. Many of the quantum computing stocks, including IonQ, Rigetti, and others, have relationships with universities because that's what's driving the early stages of development here is research within universities, right? Universities typically like to develop these latest generation technology. There's a lot of professors who do research in this type of area, and that's where the relationships initially break through. And then from those initial um, breakthroughs, starts to develop some commercial application. CEOs like Jensen Huang, I've known, are keen on reading these papers from university professors and research from universities on the latest technology, trying to see how they can incorporate these breakthroughs into their business, into their enterprise operations. And so this is one of the things that's developing inside IonQ. And of course, after their acquisition of Qubitech, they're actually going to have over 600 US and international issued and pending patents with the acquisition. That's pretty large for a company of their size. Additionally, they strengthened their technical moat in performance, error handling, and scale, which are three critical metrics for quantum computing development. And I think most impressively, IonQ is on the fastest path to enterprise-grade quantum computing. They're proving out business value, deployability, interoperability, and enterprise grade. And this is the holy grail for quantum computing companies is to develop enterprise commercial application, something that they can be utilized for. That's what's going to drive a business. Other stuff like, research and theoretical things are great and exciting for scientists and physicists, but for most folks like you and me, what's going to matter is what value they can provide or what value they can provide when being integrated into a business operation. That's what's going to lead to development of this industry is being able to connect it to commercial application that will bring in revenue, which will bring in more money to fund more research, which can improve the technology, and the positive virtuous cycle can explode on top of each other, delivering exponential growth, which is what investors in this type of area are looking for, right? Exponential growth. You're not looking for an investment that's going to give you 10% rate of return. You're looking for an investment that's going to multiply your initial investment by 10x or 100x. They talked a little bit more about that, generating useful commercial objects. And so that starts with delivering the best qubit technology, building it into the best hardware, and then building or integrating all of the other pieces up the full quantum stack to enable everything else they need to drive meaningful commercial value at production scale, which means reliability, resistance, usability, and application-oriented performance. So it's good to hear that they're building the foundation of the company on these critical principles, because when it does hit a breakthrough, it can be scaled and delivered to enterprises at full value, right? It's not going to be useful if you can't scale it out, if it can't be useful for a company that wants to integrate it into its operations. It can't be a bespoke solution, good for maybe one case, but not more than that, right? So hardware is still at the core. It's still the most significant part for IonQ to continue customer success and commercial success. But then on top of that, you need a robust software suite and access platform. And they are building the software in-house, but they still support a broad quantum ecosystem of open source and third-party access platforms. And they say that software is there to enable the top layer meaningful commercial application for development and deployment. I find this to be very interesting because this is what's driving NVIDIA's success in artificial intelligence. If you're not familiar with NVIDIA, NVIDIA has the most advanced GPUs, graphic processing unit, accelerated computing for artificial intelligence. But what makes NVIDIA even more powerful is the software it has along with the hardware. That's what companies really appreciate with NVIDIA. And NVIDIA has been developing that software for over a decade. That's what differentiates it significantly from other rivals because there's other companies that have GPUs, the hardware that NVIDIA has. Maybe their hardware is not as performant as NVIDIA's, but it's close. And, businesses will not always choose the best performant hardware for their needs. But what really separates NVIDIA and what really wins NVIDIA a lot of business is the software in combination with the hardware. That's really what is driving this increase in NVIDIA. And of course, if you didn't already know, NVIDIA's valuation has soared into the trillions from a 10, 20, 50, $100 billion company. And so it's interesting that IonQ is taking a similar approach here. Of course, they're developing the hardware, the quantum computing hardware. That's the most significant part. But on top of that, they're also developing the software and they're building the software in-house, which is interesting. And I wouldn't be surprised if IonQ management has observed what's been happening at NVIDIA and has observed NVIDIA's success and what's driving NVIDIA's success and has sort of applied some of that to their own business, to building their own business in that manner so that they can have that same differentiation or similar differentiation in quantum computing as NVIDIA has in accelerated computing or for artificial intelligence. So that's really interesting. And understandably, these latest developments have a lot of investors talking about IonQ stock. Still very early days. It's still a very risky investment, very volatile, but it's exciting and it has a lot of investors curious about the potential of this quantum computing stock. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock, and this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.